Sober banker 27 in the first round. A course of over 35 seconds duration was to follow, and Ella's Ivy went through. A tricky little hare took them out through the nominators' car park. Next was Burnt Iris and Ballygeary Blaze. Burnt Iris on the red collar had been out for 34 seconds, Ballygeary Blaze on the white collar had been out for 42. Burnt Iris led well to lead by 2 lengths. Ballygeary Blaze worked the better of the two, and the course must have been quite close in the end, but Burnt Iris, who had scored the initial opening points, was a worthy winner of a 55-second course.
That one's jamming for the earth. Did it get out?
Next in slips was Tilana Ghost on the red collar and Pentabram on the white collar. Tilana Ghost had been out for 40 seconds, Pentabram 24. Tilana Ghost looked the faster to the first turn. The white collar going unsighted. 46 seconds coursing was to follow, Tilana Ghost on the red collar being the winner.
Good hair, eh? Oh, Christ! There's a birdie left on me. He's going, he's going. He's going.
The next course brought together a Fico Miller on the red collar and Limestone Miller on the white collar. Unfortunately, this was to be a no course. Both dogs completely losing sight of the hare. They came back in after 2 courses. Next in slips was Apostle on the red collar, who was just up against Bearing Rain on the white collar. Apostle had been out for 53 seconds, Bearing Rain had been out for 38. Only 19 seconds coursing followed. The short lead was crucial, and Apostle went through. Next in slips was Breakfast Wine, who'd been out for 33 seconds, and Double Barrel, who'd been out for 32. Level on handicap, Breakfast Wine on the red collar led Double Barrel by 4 lengths.
Thank you.
The course was to last for 50 seconds. The initial lead was decisive, and Breakfast Wine on the red collar went through. Next in slips was the undecided course, a Fico Miller and Limestone Miller having another go. A Fico Miller on the red collar had been out for 36 seconds in the first round. Limestone Miller on the white collar had been out for 33 seconds. A Fico Miller on the red collar got the just-up decision against Limestone Miller, and that was enough to win this 50-second course. But it was a close thing at the first turn.
That one's jamming for the earth. Did it get out? Yes, inside.
Then followed the first double bye. Kilara Hat on the red collar had a bye on the withdrawal of White Christmas. Marching Boots on the white collar had a bye on the withdrawal of Bamber Bridge. They ran their byes together to save a hare. Kilara Hat was running on the red collar, Marching Boots on the white collar. They were about level for pace, but byes aren't judged. This bye was to last for 57 seconds coursing.
Good hair, though. Oh, Christ! There's a birdie left on this. He's going, he's going. He's going.
There was then another double bye for In the Rats, and Having Said That. In the Rats was wearing the red collar, and Having Said That, the white collar. In the Rats, who'd been out for 13 seconds in the first round, got the bye on the withdrawal of All Clap Hands. Having Said That, who'd been out for 48 seconds in the first round, got the bye on the withdrawal of Serious Touch. They ran together. The course again wasn't judged being a bye, and it lasts for 54 seconds. In the Rats had had a long and successful season in Ireland, but showed plenty of enthusiasm in this longish course.
Thank you.
There then followed another double bye for Crafty Bibby and Effenogue Shy. Crafty Bibby, running on the red collar, had been out for 14 seconds. Effenogue Shy on the white collar had been out for 64 seconds. Once again, it wasn't judged. Crafty Bibby had enjoyed a bye on the withdrawal of Quarrymount Dabber, Effenogue Shy on the withdrawal of Ballyhayden View. It only lasted 11 seconds. There was then a bye for Crafty Mystique, running on the red collar on the withdrawal of Local Magic. Crafty Mystique went solo and had had 37 seconds in the first round. The bye here lasted 39 seconds before Crafty Mystique went through. The beat was then changed. The first beat at Lydiate comes in from the left-hand side of the nominator's car park, from the behind the bank. The second beat brings down the opposite end of the field, from the right-hand side of the crowd. One course remained in the Waterloo purse for the first round, and that lay between Solemn Oath on the red collar, who'd been out for 33 seconds, and Morning Brew on the white collar, who'd been out for 48 seconds. Solemn Oath led Morning Brew by 2 lengths to win the 54-second course. All eyes were then on the Cup dogs. The 4th round of the Cup commenced with Coomera Blackie on the red collar meeting Blue Jet Lass. The crowd was really enormous now and enjoying a splendid day's coursing. Coomera Blackie, it will be remembered, had had that 154-second course in the 3rd round. He'd looked a tired dog when being brought back, but doubtless after much heart searching, the trainer decided to run. As it turned out, it was the wrong decision, and Coomera Blackie took no part. Blue Jet Lass, running solo, to win a 30-second course. Blue Jet Lass had been out for 126 seconds, Kumara Blackie for 213. The hare raced straight across the field, the course lasting only 30 seconds. A big help at Lydiate, the hare using the sough. Next in slips was Drill the Lads on the red collar, who'd been out for 126 seconds, and met Rondor Sandy on the white collar, who'd been out for 127. As Kumara Blackie was carried back, a hare came through, and Drill the Lads led Rondor Sandy by 4 lengths. A 47-second course was to follow. Drill the Lads went through. In the next course, Cushy Toledo had been withdrawn. This allowed Morning Classic, who'd been out for 134 seconds, to run a solo bye on the red collar. As is his custom, Gary Kelly slipped him off a handkerchief. The course was to last 63 seconds. Although Morning Classic seemed ill at ease on the turns and was reputed to be feeling a hind leg injury as well as his tail, he kept on very stoutly throughout this course. And jumped the ditch to carry on. The last course in the 4th round of the Cup saw Morning Blush on the red collar lead Pusher Down on the white collar by 2.5 lengths. They were virtually level on handicap. Morning Blush's time stood at 131 seconds coursing and Pusher Down's at 138. The course was to last only 30 seconds and Morning Blush's 2.5 length lead was decisive. We then moved on to the 2nd round of the Waterloo Purse, for dogs beaten in the 1st round of the Cup itself. First in slips was All in the Game on the red collar, a New Start on the white collar. All in the Game had been out for 78 seconds, New Start had been out for 49. Handicap told its tale because New Start led All in the Game by 5 lengths, and that was enough to win this 47-second course. All in the Game could really never get in the course. A New Start galloped away along the top of the bank past the policeman. Next in slips was Kilara Hat on the red collar and Ella's Ivy on the white collar. This was a good course for those who like to see plenty of work. Ella's Ivy on the white collar led Kilara Hat by 5 lengths. And scored the first turn. But thereafter, the red collar, Kilara Hat, coursed like a monkey to overturn the lead in a course lasting 73 seconds. There was no doubt about this decision. Kilara Hat did all the work. Defied handicap, defied the opening points to win this course of 73 seconds. Every slipper's nightmare is separate hares, and Burnt Iris on the red collar, who'd been out for 89 seconds, and Tilana Ghost on the white collar, who'd been out for 86 seconds, got on separate hares here. The judge decided quite correctly that it was a no course. The dog's owners decided to toss for which dog would go through, as both had had a course and neither could win the event if they were to run again. On the toss of the coin, Tilana's Ghost on the white collar was awarded the course. There was another no course here. Apostle and Afico Miller met.
No course, David.
Neither really saw the hare. They were sent straight back into slips.
Yes, rolling.
To try again. Apostle on the white collar led Afico Miller on the red collar by 3 lengths. Apostle had been out for 72 seconds. Afico Miller had been out for 86 seconds. This course was to last for 58 seconds. The lead was decisive and Apostle went through. Breakfast Wine on the red collar, who'd been out for 89 seconds, then met Marching Boots on the white collar, who'd been out for 95. Breakfast Wine on the red collar led Marching Boots by 1.5 lengths and won this 56-second course.
Bloody hell. Go on, Fred. Go on. You can't see the bloody thing. Now you've got a course. And that's dead.
Then came In the Rats on the red collar, who'd been out for 66 seconds, and having said that, who'd coursed for 57 seconds. In the Rats on the red collar led Having Said That by 2 lengths to win a 57-second course. Once again, the hares off this new beat were running tremendously well. Crafty Bibby on the red collar, who'd coursed for only 25 seconds, next met Effenogue Shy on the white collar, who'd coursed for 75 seconds. Handicap told its tale easily here, Crafty Bibby leading by 3 lengths to win a 66-second course. last pair were Crafty Mystique on the red collar, who'd coursed for 76 seconds, and Solemn Oath on the white collar, who'd coursed for 86. Crafty Mystique led Solemn Oath by 3 lengths to the first turn and win a 52-second course. We then moved on to the first round of the Waterloo Plate. The Waterloo Plate is for 8 dogs beaten in the second round. They're declared and redrawn to avoid unnecessary buys. A large crowd stayed on in beautiful weather to see the last 4 courses of the day. First in slips was the 3rd man on the red collar, who unfortunately ran unsighted here against Crafty Woody on the white collar. The 3rd man had been out for 50 seconds, Crafty Woody had been out for 69. Yes. A 55-second course followed, but Crafty Woody, who'd scored the initial points, was the winner.
Down. Down, lads. Thank you.
Then came Rage Hill on the red collar, who'd been out for 94 seconds, and Deluxe Edition on the white collar, who'd been out for 61. Deluxe Edition led Rage Hill by 3 lengths to win the 55-second course.
She's looking dangerously there.
How black and what's that?
This hare, not running all that strongly, gave the dogs a good dusting.
Of course, don't they?
Then came Grove Hill Dasher on the white collar. He'd been out for 151 seconds. He met Knockraw Derry on the red collar, who'd been out for 99. Grove Hill Dasher on the white collar defied the handicap, however, to get a just-up decision against Knockraw Derry. But another 72 seconds coursing was to follow. This was a very close run-up. Grove Hill Dasher displaying plenty of courage to get the opening points. This was the penultimate course of the day. The last course brought together Crafty Meanie on the red collar, who'd coursed for 73 seconds to date, and Strong as Silk on the white collar, who'd coursed for 47 seconds. Crafty Meanie couldn't defy the handicap, and Strong as Silk on the white collar led Crafty Meanie to the first turn by 2 lengths and win a 52-second course.
There's a bloody left on him. He's going, he's going.
He hit the front. He hit the front. Well up. Going in again for another.
Thus, a really splendid day's coursing was brought to a conclusion at Lydiate. The betting for the Cup was extremely close. Drill the Lads just being the outsider. It had been a long time since hares had run so strongly, the run-up's been so straight, and the coursing as good as it was today at Lydiate.
After probably the best day's coursing that I've ever seen at Lydiate yesterday, the 1998 Waterloo Cup remains remarkably open. Blue Jet Lass is a marginal favourite at 2-1, and there's no doubt that the bitch which reached the semi-finals last year as a puppy is running brilliantly again. She meets Drill the Lads, which is the runner which is certainly out on the handicap after a very long course yesterday. But Drill the Lads, the only English-bred greyhound left in the competition, is as hard as nails, and he may still come and do it and reach the final. Then we have Morning Classic, the Irish-trained, English-owned puppy, who's shown remarkable pace. And I also thought, in his second course at Lydiate yesterday, real determination when he slung a ditch to keep chasing the hare. Morning Blush, the winner of the Sefton Trophy in 1996, ran up for the same event this season, is probably now looking the oldest and perhaps the most ragged of the party. But he's a dog with a marvellous stride, with a real touch of pace. And this is a Waterloo Cup where there's everything left to play for.
A larger than average crowd were there to see coursing commence on the final day with the third round of the purse. New Start on the red collar had been out for 96 seconds and led Kilara Hat, who'd been out for 192 seconds by 3 lengths. Kilara Hat on the white collar had showed plenty of a coursing ability on the previous day to overturn the lead and ran keen and fast here again. But the lead was decisive, and New Start on the red collar, who'd led by 3 lengths, was the winner of a 70-second course, despite Kilara Hat doing everything it could to overturn the lead.
I've gone by.
A game display by the loser. Next in slips was Tilana Ghost on the red collar, who'd been out for 137 seconds, and Apostle on the white collar, who'd been out for 130. Apostle pulled well clear of Tilana Ghost to lead here by 6 lengths. A more traditional Withens course was to follow of 35 seconds, Apostle going through. Breakfast Wine on the red collar had coursed for 145 seconds. In the Rats on the white collar had coursed for 123 seconds in the next course. In the Rats led Breakfast Wine by 2 lengths, and that was sufficient in a 40-second course for In the Rats to go through. In the Rats continuing to survive a very hard season in Ireland and showing plenty of keenness and enthusiasm to pull by here nearing the hare. After 40 seconds, the lead was decisive and In the Rats went through. Two Crafties met in the next course. Crafty Bibby on the red collar had been out for 91 seconds. Crafty Mystique on the white collar had been out for 128 seconds. Crafty Mystique, down on handicap, led Crafty Bibby by 1.5 lengths to win a short 15-second course. All eyes were now on the Waterloo Cup semi-finalists. The first course brought together Blue Jet Lass on the red collar, who'd been out for 156 seconds, and Drill the Lads on the white collar, who'd been out for 173. Amidst tremendous excitement, Drill the Lads led Blue Jet Lass by 2 lengths. Unfortunately for the cameraman, Judge Bob Burden obscures most of the run-up. The hare was flecked, but then ran on stoutly, and a 41-second course was to follow. The lead was decisive, and Drill the Lads went through to be in the final of the 1998 Waterloo Cup. Next in slips were Morning Classic on the red collar, who'd been out for 197 seconds, and Morning Blush on the white collar, who'd been out for exactly the same time. Both of these dogs are from Tommy Ryan's marvellous breeding. Morning Classic on the red collar led Morning Blush on the white collar by 2 lengths to win a 43-second course. Thus the final of the Waterloo Cup was to be between Drill the Lads, who'd been out for 214 seconds, and Morning Classic, who'd been out for 240. We then moved on to the semi-finals of the Waterloo Plate. The first semi-final was between Crafty Woody on the red collar, who'd been out for 124 seconds, and Deluxe Edition on the white collar, who'd been out for 116. Crafty Woody on the red collar led Deluxe Edition by half a length, and in a course of 34 seconds that was sufficient. The next semi-final was between Grove Hill Dasher on the red collar, who'd been out for a massive 223 seconds, and met Strong as Silk on the white collar, who'd been out for only a relatively short 99 seconds. Grove Hill Dasher had had some mountainous courses. Handicap proved decisive here, and Strong as Silk on the white collar led Grove Hill Dasher by an easy 5 lengths and won a 25-second course. Thus the final of the Plate should have lain between Crafty Woody and Strong as Silk, but Strong as Silk unfortunately injured himself here badly and could not contest the final.
That's the white collar there, the white collar, Strong as Silk.
Strong as Silk was a brother to Drill the Lads. The semi-final of the purse lay between New Start on the red collar and Apostle on the white. New Start had been out for 166 seconds, Apostle 165. Level on handicap, Apostle showed much the better pace to lead by 6 lengths and win a 53-second course. The second semi-final was between In the Rats on the red collar, who'd been out for 163 seconds, and Crafty Mystique on the white collar, who'd been out for 143 seconds. A combination of handicap and a busy season put paid to In the Rats here, and Crafty Mystique on the white collar led In the Rats by 3 lengths. In the Rats continued to show plenty of enthusiasm, but the opening points were decisive, and in a course of 33 seconds, Crafty Mystique on the white collar went through to run in the final of the Waterloo Purse against Apostle.
Like any sport, to get to the top of your sport is incredible. To judge a Waterloo is every judge's ambition, and especially when you're voted by the 64 nominators, it is an honour and one I feel very pleased to do. I have enjoyed it. It's certainly been a different experience to other years when I've been at the Waterloo Cup, but I hope I'm asked again.
The final of the Waterloo Purse lay between Apostle and Crafty Mystique. Apostle was nominated by Mrs. Birkbeck, owned by herself and her husband and Major Straker, and trained by Audrey Hall. Apostle was running on the red collar. Crafty Mystique on the white collar was nominated and owned by Brian Dibley and trained by himself in Ireland.
So that's Apostle 2 in the red collar. In the white collar we've got Crafty Mystique, performed bit.
Apostle on the red collar had coursed for 218 seconds. Crafty Mystique on the white had coursed for 176 seconds. Crafty Mystique pulled away to lead Apostle by 4 lengths. And although 60 seconds coursing was to follow, Crafty Mystique was a convincing winner of the 1998 Waterloo Purse. Unfortunately, there could be no final for the Waterloo Plate. Strong as Silk had been badly injured. He was nominated by Mr. Hesketh and owned by Mr. Robbins and the breeder, Mrs. Spokes.
The winner of the Waterloo Purse of the white
was trained by Cliff Standing.
Crafty Mystique.
The winner on the defection of Strong as Silk was Crafty Woody. Nominated by Mrs. Lunn and owned by Mrs. Ursula Milne-Hume, Crafty Woody was trained by the Teal Combine. By concentration, out of Crafty Belinda. Brian Dibley's famous breeding again.
Martin.
The final of the Waterloo Cup itself lay between Drill the Lads, nominated by Mrs. Gunter, owned by herself in partnership with Mr. Oliver Coghlan. Drill the Lads was trained by Mrs. Gunter and running on the red collar. On the white collar was Morning Classic, nominated and owned by Bill Gaskin and trained by Michael O'Donovan in Ireland. Drill the Lads on the red collar had coursed for 214 seconds, Morning Classic had coursed for 240 seconds. Both dogs were tired and carrying injuries. Drill the Lads on the red collar, amongst great excitement, pulled away to lead Morning Classic by 2 lengths and win the final of the 1998 Waterloo Cup for England. Morning Classic running up gamely for Ireland. The last course lasted for 58 seconds, but Drill the Lads went through to put his name on the Waterloo chain. Both these tired dogs coursed on splendidly gamely. Although English bred by Glatton General, Drill the Lads comes from Tommy Ryan's marvellous family, as did 3 of the last 4 in the Waterloo Cup. Never can one family of dogs have dominated an event to such an extent. The Jack Chadwick Trophy is awarded every year in memory of the late Waterloo Cup judge for outstanding services to coursing, and this year Bill Steadman presented it to Richard Davis on behalf of Les Anderson, who does so much for coursing in the southeast. Stuart Wilcock and his wife Nan then receive a trophy from Ronnie Cunningham Jardine on his retirement as keeper to Lord Leverhume's estates at Oldcott. Stuart Wilcock has been a legendary figure. No doubt he'll continue to come out and see the event that he's looked after for so long, each year it's run. Once again, Stephen Little was the generous sponsor. The leading rails bookmaker, he's reputed to be one of the last who'll take a really big bet. But coursing is his first love, racing is his business. Lord Leverhume was on hand to watch the presentations, and the debt that the Waterloo Cup and all coursing people owe to his lordship cannot be overrated.
Headed by Mr. Robin and our sympathy to them and Mr. Stanley. Could I have a big round of applause?
For reasons already stated, Strong as Silk could not be there and could not compete in the final. But his sporting connections, headed by Mr. Robbins and Mrs. Spokes, who bred the dog, came forward to enormous and sympathetic applause.
Well done, and we're very, very sorry you couldn't be in the final. Thank you very much.
The winner of the plate
was nominated by Mrs. Anne Lund, who can't be here, owned by Miss Ursula Milne, Crafty Woody.
The winner of the plate was Crafty Woody, led forward by the Teal Combine and the delighted Mrs. Ursula Milne.
Woody!
Look up. That's lovely.
The runner-up for the purse was Apostle. Trained by Audrey Hall, for Mrs. Birkbeck, her husband and Major Straker. The winner of the purse was Crafty Mystique. Owned, trained and nominated by Brian Dibberley.
He wants to take it home, but she won't let him.
No, Brian. No.
Hey?
Sorry, Brian.
Yet another famous Irish winner for the man from Galway. Runner-up for the Waterloo Cup itself was Morning Classic, owned and nominated by Bill Gaskin and trained by Michael O'Donovan. Michael O'Donovan has a record second to none at Old Car. To the right of the picture is Tommy Ryan. His breeding has dominated the Waterloo Cup as no man's ever has before. Even the winner, Drill the Lads, although ostensibly English bred, descends from Tommy Ryan's family. And then the winner of the Waterloo Cup, Drill the Lads, accompanied by Di Gunter, his trainer and joint owner, who'd been seriously ill herself this winter, accompanied by Northampton businessman and ex-Irish Mr. Oliver Coghlan. Drill the Lads is by Glatton General, himself unlucky in the Waterloo Cup, out of Jap silk. On the left, Mr. Coghlan, Stephen Little with the jacket, and Di Gunter with the dog. An outstandingly game and genuine dog, he now retires to stud. Let's hope he gets the patronage he deserves. And thus ended the 1998 Waterloo Cup, with a really worthy winner, Drill the Lads, trained by Mrs. Gunter and owned by herself and Oliver Coghlan.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we watch this very moving moment, another notch on the Waterloo Cup chain, I'd like you to give 3 cheers.